Alright, so I figure someone might want to take a look at this. This is actually a brand new system x3100 from Lenovo. This is a budget server for a place that may need like a non-critical server, domain controller, maybe small file server. Basically, you're going to want to get something like this if a couple things or a few things aren't at play. One, they don't need a lot of storage, because this you'll find that only has four 3.5-inch drive bays. Two, it only has one power supply. So again, this is something that if it goes down, it's not going to kill the business or it's not going to impact anything major. Again, it could be a domain controller, so if there's multiple domain controllers, you know, this goes down, it's not going to make that big of an impact. Also, if it's a file server, but you know, something they use, you know, if it goes down, it's not going to kill the business if they can't get access to their files for a couple hours or whatever until you swap out power supply or something like that. But anyways, let's just get right into it. System 31 x3100 M5 from our friends at Lenovo. So we have two USB 3.0. Shit, man. Hello, Justin speaking. Yeah, speaking. Good. Is this like a sales call? Because I'm just on the other line. Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, bye. I'll deal with these as sales assholes. Okay, so anyways, so on the front here we have two USB 3.0 ports, a power button here, and that's about it. Now in this particular version, there's a Xeon processor with 8 gigs of memory and yeah, 4 drive bays. So then it has around the side here, there's a blue button here which you push in, this is kind of chintzy. I don't really like the design of this. I don't really like the design of this too much, but then, so essentially what you do is you push this in. You push this in and this comes off. So here you go here. So there's your drive bays, 4 3.5-inch with the SATA connectors in there. Now they are hot swappable, and this tray is pretty easily removable actually, and I'll show you that in a second. DVD, RW, I don't know who uses that stuff anymore, but anyways, it's there. Coming along the side here, if we unscrew the 2 case screws, we open this up. We have our diagram here telling us basically how the motherboard is laid out, how to remove certain modules and pieces, you know, what DIMM slots you should be putting in for memory, things like that. Just some documentation, which is really nice. I like these. Most servers, even entry level, will have these from Lenovo or Dell or whoever it is. HP. So let's bring it in a little closer now. Coming inside here, we have the plastic air vent flow thing, which basically pops right out, and revealing here the Xeon processor, which is underneath this large heatsink. And then we have four memory banks. I believe this server can go up to 64 gigs of memory. Not exactly sure. The specs don't matter, you know, for this video. I just want to show you the x3100 M5 sort of style and design. Now, one cool thing about this one that another, I think it's the lower end TD350 or something server, this has a regular ATX power supply. So this is good because it's A, user replaceable, and B, you're not going to have to order from the manufacturer. Some of the other lower end Lenovo servers come with a proprietary, or not proprietary, just not an off-the-shelf power supply. So that's not standard. And also, in some cases, when you buy drives for some of the lower end TD servers, you have to purchased the hard drive from them because the power connector for the SATA drive is proprietary. I didn't like that. That's the first and last server I will buy from Lenovo with that crap. This has a standard power supply, as you can see here, and then over here we have the back plane here for the SATA connectors, and this is kind of cool because you can just sort of push on this tab and it just releases, and you can see that there's the 4 SATA connectors there that are basically just breakouts to the motherboard. And I'll show you that in a minute if I can get this back on properly. Yeah. Okay, so that's back on. What else do we have? Just some standard stuff inside. Typical stuff inside. Nothing. PCI Express slot. What do we have here? Yeah, so a couple PCI Express and PCI X16, and you got a little you have a little riser there. Sorry guys, I'm not, again, so you have some PCI Express, things like that. PCI. So yeah, 3 PCI Express slots. I believe 2 are 8 and 1 is 3 PCI Express slots. 2 are 8 and 1 is 16. I believe. Then you have a riser PCIe there. Fuck. And let's check out the back. On the back here, we have my VGA port, 1 serial port, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, and 4 USB slots here. And also here we have the IMM, which is the share. I think this is shared with the network controllers, and this is for remote management. This gives you the ability to do power offs and things like that and manage the server a little bit more, which is nice. Don't really expect that from a low-end server, but they give it to you anyways. Don't know how much I'll be using that, if I need to use that in the environment where this thing is going. But there it is. So I do have one thing to note here. Let me just bring the camera back. So yeah, right here we can actually, if we pull these 2 tabs and pull out, we can pull out the entire drive cage portion here, but we don't want to do that because it's also pulling out the back plane. But I guess this lets you get to some of the screws, or if there's issues with getting at the drives. One thing, I'm going to put this back in. One thing, one thing I will note here is this server did not come with any drive trays. So you're going to have to order those separately and from a third-party vendor because Lenovo does not sell them. I do have 2 drives coming in. Actually, I have 3 drives coming in. I have an SSD and 2 mechanical 3.5-inch drives, which will be placed in here. And that is it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. The case goes back on like so from this side. To the side, and that's it. It's closed. That's it. It's very small. It probably weighs, I don't know, maybe 15 pounds, maybe 15 to 20-ish pounds. It's nice and small. It's good for small places that need a server, that don't want to use cloud services, or maybe they use both. But anyways, there it is, Lenovo. Thanks guys. See you later.